Welcome back, Sentinels. Welcome back. Another episode of Black Father Sentinel, where we are changing the narrative of how fathers are depicted as well as discussed in today's society. Back with another video for you all. Let's get into it. But first, you know what we have to do. So hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And be sure to leave a comment at the end of the video. And last but not least, it is imperative that we push this message out there, you all. So in order for us to do so, make sure we hit that share button. All right. Again, I thank you all in advance. So let's jump right into this video. All right. So this one I have entitled, Fellas, Understand Your Role. Okay. Know your worth. And this is not pertaining to, the individuals that you choose to date. This is in regards to our children. We have to know our worth. A lot of times society simply says that this is all that we're worth in terms of providing food, providing money, or providing shelter. And that is not all that we're worth, right? We're going to do that quite naturally because innately we just have those characteristics about ourselves. But we have to know our worth as it relates to our children. Okay, so I want to just break down a few points that I just came up with, and I'm sure there's a bunch more. All right, but I want us to kind of feel this, man. Like we are worth more than just food, shelter, and money to our children. We're worth so much more. Like the impact we have on our children mentally alone is worth its weight in gold. All right. So let's talk about it. So the first one I came up with, right? So when we're heavily involved in our children's life, statistics show that they are more engaged in school, right? And they have a healthier brain function. Now understand that when you're active in your child's life, they are more engaged in school, okay? They also have a healthy brain function. Now, I'm going to tell you, just coming from personal experience, I've taught in our school system here. Um, and what I've noticed, and even though I was teaching a different group, which is special education, but what I noticed is that a lot of times, not only was it the boys, but it was the young females as well. They just simply needed more guidance. And I get it, the mom was there quite naturally, but it was coming to the point to where mom couldn't really control the kids. And I'm gonna be honest with you, and ladies, this is not a shot against you. I think for the most part, I'll just say it because that's just me. I think y'all get tested more than I would say the dads do. Um, as it relates to children. I'm not saying all of you, but I'm just saying for the most part, I think you all get tested a little bit more in terms of, them bucking up to you, them talking back, them trying you more. I'm just saying in that regard. So here's what I saw as I taught in those special education classrooms. A lot of times those little guys and those little girls, they just needed a hug from a different type of energy though. A lot of times when they went to school, all they saw was that woman energy, right? A lot of times it was predominantly white females who were the gatekeepers of the education to our children. I understand that most of us don't get into the education field, and most of us, if we do, we want to shoot for the principal um, position as opposed to work in the classroom, which is the most important part. That's where you can make the biggest difference to me because you're actually interacting with the children. So I actually love that aspect of it. But I noticed that I had to wear multiple hats. I couldn't only just be the teacher to these young females and these young males. I had to sometimes be the uncle, sometimes be the dad, sometimes be the grandpa in some cases, right? You just have to wear multiple hats. But I think that it's important for us to know, fathers, that we are important. Like we help them to navigate through the schooling system. A lot of times I know parents, you get those calls from school, maybe to the mom and maybe to the dad, they're acting up. They're just going against the grain. They're not listening to the teacher. A lot of times what I notice in those moments, they just need a hug. And the population that I was dealing with, they were heavily sedated with, these drugs that they put them on. So it wasn't even really them who was doing the wrongdoings, right? So we have to understand that. So fathers, that's huge. Like just being a part, active father in your child's life, male or female, it helps them with their brain function, the development of their brain. It also helps them to be more engaged in school. So I want you to realize that, right? And then another thing, we help them to answer life's biggest question. Now I want you to think about that. What's the biggest question in life that you had when you were growing up? I know for me, it was simply like, who am I? Like we help them to answer these questions, right? Who am I? How do I fit in the grand scheme of life? Like, what's my role? What part do I play? We help them to answer those questions. Now, again, moms or ladies, if you're watching this video, this is not a shot against you. I'm just raising the importance of an active father in a child's life. Like, these are things that they don't tell us, right? And I get it, fathers. It's systematically set up for us to lose. I understand it. The court systems are against us. All this government funding that's against us. The ladies that get more funding if we're not in the house. I understand that, but fathers, we got to fight. Like, we can't give up. You have to fight. Like, I don't want my children ever to think that they weren't worth the fight for me. Like, I get it. Sometimes we get into these relationships, they just don't work out. And sometimes it's hard to talk to that opposite sex. They just don't want anything to do with you. They can't even hear the words that come out your mouth, right? I get it, because all the emotions, the hurt, the pain, I understand all that. But if we keep what's in best interest of the children, we should be able to move past that. Now, that's easier said, but fathers, I'm just telling you right now, you have to fight no matter what. And I get it. You don't want to fight because you already have these preconceived notions that we're already going to lose. So why even put myself in that position? Just let it be. And then at that moment, you realize that now I've been out of my child's life for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, right? Because you didn't want to fight. I'm telling you right now, I'm fighting regardless. Like, fortunately enough for me, I don't have to, because I have a decent relationship with the opposing side. You know what I mean? Or the mother of my children, so I don't have to fight. But in any event that it was to go that distance, I'm fighting. That's just what I'm doing, me personally. Like, you can do what you want to do, but I have to be involved in my children's life. If you look at the previous videos, I explained to you, like, that's my why. That's why I do the things that I do, is to leave a legacy for my children, right? To be a stand-up man for my children, right? To show them how to navigate through life. That's why I do it. So I'm always going to fight. That's just me personally, okay? And so we help to validate them. We help them to answer these big questions in life. Who am I? And moms, you play a role in that as well. I'm not taking anything away from you. I'm just saying that validation, that talk from that father, is just as important. I'm not going to even say it's more important, because here's the thing, you have to understand that it took two individuals to create these children. So why would we think it would take one individual to raise a child? It doesn't work like that. And ladies, if you have a man that wants to be actively involved in their children's life, don't keep him away from his child. That's not another man's responsibility to raise his child at all. And he actively wants to be there. You guys don't get to make that call. Stop trying to do that. Because you mad at me, you want to leave the kids. Like, stop playing those type of games. All you doing is hurting the children. If a man wants to be actively involved in his child's life and he's a stand-up guy, right? He ain't going out here trying to rob, cheat, lie, purposely hurt people, breaking in there and all that type of just nothingness, right? Give that man an opportunity. Give that man an opportunity to be a father to his child. And what you'll notice is that once that opportunity is given, and I even hate to give you all that much control. I'm gonna be honest with you. You shouldn't even be able to dictate if he has the opportunity to do that. And that's one of the things that I'm saying, fathers. If you're gonna go do it, go do it. Go fight. We all hate to put the folks in our business, but sometimes we just have to do what we have to do. And it's just that simple. But that's another topic for a different day. And I'm not even going down that rabbit hole. I promise you on that. And so understand that not only do we help them to engage more in school, have a healthy brain function, as well as we help them to answer some of life's biggest questions, we also, and this one is a little bit outside the box, we also teach our children how to stay motivated from within, right? We live in a society today where it's all about the likes, it's all about the views, it's all about instant, gratification from life. Like, people post a video, you can only see the best side of them. They want all these likes, and then they get validated off of that. I teach my kids how to be intrinsically validated. So there's this saying that I have, and I've been saying it since I had my oldest daughter. As it relates to sports, I always ask them or pose a question to them to get them fired up. So with my daughters, I'm like, who's the girl? And she'll say, me. Who's the girl? Me. Who's the girl? Me. My sons, like, if you say it to them right now, who's the man? Me. Who's the man? Me. Who's the man? Me. And they get so turned up off of that. And I've been doing that for over, I would say, 15 years. And it started with the oldest one. But I want them to always understand that whatever is happening out there, whether it be in sports or in the world, It's your doing. You are responsible for that. Another example is that as my son during his baseball season, he used to like to switch bats all the time, right? And so he would get in the car, Dad, did you see how I hit with this bat? I'm doing better because I have this bat. And I used to have to just turn and talk to him and say, son, it's not the bat, it's you, my guy. You're the one that's hitting the baseball right now. You're the one that's been practicing and putting in the work, right? That's you. That's all you're doing. You don't have to give credit to a bat. That's not how this works. That's you. That's you putting in the work. I don't care if the bat has the fat end, because what he was thinking is because the at the end of the bat you can get a wider width, right? And so he was thinking that because of the bat had a wider width, that he was hitting the ball, or that was helping him to hit the ball. Although that may be true, I wanted to lock in his mind that, listen, you're putting in the work and you're doing what you have to do. This is all about you. And I want that to translate over into life too. If you get in a situation that's bad, listen, that's on you. You got to figure out how to change the thoughts in your head so you can start to attract different things or more positive things or get yourself out this position. Everything, it falls on you. And so just helping my children navigate through that and understand that, listen, you don't have to receive credit for anything. And to my young boys, I want them to understand the credit that you think you're gonna receive, you're not. Like, we don't get credit for anything, man. We can be honest. Like, we're just supposed to do this, right? We don't quite naturally get the praise. Although we need to hear it sometimes just to even keep us motivated. Like, we have down days, but it's all good. As long as you have that intrinsic or internal appreciation about yourself, you'll be able to navigate this world, right? So fathers, I just want you to understand your worth, man. Understand your value. You are a great father. You need to be in your child's life. Fight for your child. Don't give up. Don't let people control the narrative about you, right? You're not a bad guy. Continue to do what you do best, all right? And that is to be a great father. Black Father Sent.